Let's edit some photos. What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to get a little more specific going off of some of your comments. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for all the people who have subscribed, who have liked, who have commented. It means a lot to me. And as a result, I'm gonna make a specific video to Media Man. First of all, he said Rich Bond and Nathan Cooley's watched their videos, but he said for some reason this video that I did sunk in. He asked about luminosity mode. So what I'm gonna do, if you're new here, consider subscribing, hit the bell notification so you can see when I put out new videos. I do a lot of different things, but in this playlist, I do real estate photography. So make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and comment below if you have any questions. So Media Man, it's a hard word to say. He asked about the luminosity mode. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, and I'm gonna go to the end, and I'm gonna show you how I take it from my desktop, import it into Lightroom, take it from there, do my little tweaking, import it into Photoshop, and then there we will talk about the luminosity mode. Okay, so I have my folder open on my desktop. I shift and click from start to finish. It will highlight them all. Click Other. Adobe Lightroom Classic. I use the classic version. Classic kind of guy. Open. It will open up Lightroom. And so it'll bring up this screen. And see, it has it checked. So if it's grayed out and it's not lit up like that, you know it's not gonna import it. So make sure that you can click uncheck all or check all to make sure that it's all, but it should since you have all those photos selected. Click import. Now you're actually inside of Lightroom working on the photos. So you see it has it all imported. Click the D and you will be in develop mode, which means you can start editing. So we have the photo. If you have on top of your flash, you have a transmitter that talks to the flash. I mean, on top of your camera, you have a transmitter that talks to the flash that you have. In my case, I have a ProPhoto B1X. And so the transmitter on there, a lot of times when I'm doing ambient shots, unless I have, if you really want to make your life easy and you want to take a couple extra seconds to take the photo while you're on site, if you turn your transmitter off, turn your camera off, back on, your auto white balance, which is what I usually always have it set on, will immediately adjust and be an auto white balance instead of having to deal like this. We're gonna do some white balance adjustments. I know that the ceiling is white. That's a pretty natural color for the walls. We can look at the flash to see exactly kind of what it is. So I go down here to my full bump. And what my bump does, you can see before I even click anything. Watch the shadow areas, the brightness of this. When I do a full bump, I'm taking all of that and I'm trying to bring it closer to the middle. So I'm taking the white blown out parts, I'm taking the dark, real dark parts and making it lighter, and this part darker. So it brings more of a even keel of your photo. So see how right here, which means I exposed it really well, right here, the highest peak of my photo, this is reading light and colors and stuff, is kind of right up center. That's exactly where I want it. Go back to my ambient shot and you see it's kind of below that. So I want to try to match as close as I can. Even if I have to go a little bit over, it doesn't matter. I want the photos to match up. I think that's a well exposed photo. Maybe bring the blue, bring it a little more blue, because I know that door right there is white. So I want it to look as white as possible. What I'm looking for now is the color cast, not from the light, but from the outside. So you see this blue, you can see some green. So let's go down here to our saturations. Something I found that's pretty easy for me to figure out what colors are doing what. You click this little thing right here, you go to the color that you're wanting to get rid of and you start dragging it downwards and see how it just kind of fades away. I'm almost completely solving all of that color issue. It looks pretty good to me. And actually I'm gonna do a full bump as well on this, bring those shadows up a little bit. That's what I prefer to do. And you can see, I'll reset it and show you so you can understand. You could do a preset. If you'd like me to make a video of how to make a preset in Lightroom, leave a comment below, but you can find a lot of videos that show you how to do that. But if you like my teaching style and you understand what I'm saying, and for some reason I'm talking in your language, and then just let me know in the comments below and I'll make one specifically for you. So I'll reset it and look at the color shift. Go back to full bump, and I reset the white balance too. That's okay. And I'll bring up my exposure. All right, so I'm looking at the walls here, and I'm looking at the orange here. So what I want to do is kind of, let's see, go down to here, go down to here, take the color out. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Here's my window pull. So I'm looking only right here in this photo. So this window pull looks pretty decent. I'm gonna bring up the shadows because I want to see a little more detail out there. So we have 200th of a second. If it's really sunny outside, you go to 250, or you can also bring your ISO down to 200, 100, but I always start my ISO, my beginning starting point is f6.3. You can see these on my ambient shot, depending on the room, but about 1/10 of a second, 1/6 of a second. And then when I do my flash, I'm going to 40th of a second. Now 40, 50, and 60 are the sweet spots, because if you have brighter lights, some bathrooms will have that really like daylight type, and they're really bright. So you have to go to 50 and maybe 60th of a second, which will bring down that ambient light where your flash can be more seen, because your flash is controlled by your f-stop, your ambient is controlled by your shutter speed, and your ISO controls it all. So I never adjust unless I'm doing window pulls and it's really sunny outside. I never adjust my ISO, and I never adjust my f-stop. I always adjust my shutter speed. So you need to practice at your house or your apartment and get used to doing window pulls, your lighting placement, where you put your flash. So right now, I feel like this looks pretty good. Okay, I got my window pull. I got this over here, which is the exact, if you look, it's the exact same exposure, but it's always darker. So you can bring that bad boy up, kind of get it to where you're. Now, the reason for the fourth photo that I have here, I call it my whoops image. Because if I mess up, say I got too far over to where when I popped off the light for the window pull, that it has nasty reflection in the window, well, I need something to repair that. It would be incredibly difficult if I didn't have that fourth photo for just in case, then to try to go in there and edit and clone stamp and all this other stuff. It would be incredibly difficult. So this helps minimize the time I have to spend per photo. So I click on the first image, I click shift and click the last one, right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. Now you watching at home, right now I pay people to do my editing, but I started off doing my own, and you have to, especially if you can't charge as much as the professionals, because you are not there yet, which is fine. You have to start somewhere. I use this, it makes my life, I say it in every video, it's because I believe in it. It's something that I use on a constant basis, and it's what I started with. Definitely worth it. I'll link that below too as well. All right, so we have all of our layers. What I want to do is click this little eye, and what I'm looking for is jumps in lines. So up here, over here. Don't be tricked by the shadows that's jumping. Pay attention to the lines, the hard lines. Nothing too crazy. I'm looking over here too. Now go to the next one. Thing's pretty good. Okay, so I want to try to, just like everything else in Lightroom and in this, you click that top one, shift, and click the last one, it'll highlight them all. I go to edit, auto align layers. If you've done this before, if it's your first time, click the auto, the very first one, and push OK, and every time you do it from then on, it'll automatically populate the auto option. Shadows are jumping, but everything's good. Click the top one. Now, this is what I do personally. This is the order I do it in, so I don't have to do things twice. I'm all about simplicity. And what I do is I alter option, click on a layer mask, which puts a black layer mask on that layer. Command J, it duplicates. On that copy, I go up and I click luminosity. Now, so the question for today's video is understanding luminosity. What does it do? Why do I even do luminosity? So I'm gonna do this. So we have a black layer mask, and understand that I did a copy, and this one is luminosity, this one is normal. So let's do this. B for brush, hit your brackets, make it bigger. I want my softness or my hardness to be all the way to the left. No hard anything. Okay, I want my flow. I do 10. If you're trying to do these fast, you can do it with 10 with no problem. So shift and push 1, and that will bring right down here. You can put shift 2, shift 3, shift 4, shift 5, shift 6. So shift 1, that'll put flow at 10%. So what flow does, your opacity and flow are two different things. Your flow means that I paint over this like you would with a real brush, and you paint black on a white canvas. The more time you paint black over that, the blacker it gets. Opacity, you can paint all you want, but it will only allow a certain amount to be seen. I want all of it to be seen that I'm doing, so opacity 100%, but I want my flow to be at a low number. That way I can choose, pick and choose what I want to do. So let's see this. Let's go. Oh, also the brush, I always want it to be white. White reveals. You have to make sure too you're on the layer mask, because it just started painting on the actual thing itself. Push X, it'll switch it to white. So if you can tell, see this orange color? Push this orange color right here. Okay, so let's undo. Command Z will undo all that you just saw. Now I want to build my luminosity. Now watch this. Do you see how it brought that shadow in, but there's no orange color with it anymore? That's what luminosity mode does. It brings only light and dark. It does not include color. Because you saw, I'll make this invisible again where you can't see it. We'll just do this little spot right here. This is a really good example. See how it changed the shadow? What the reason for the ambient layer is to bring back the natural shadows, to bring back, because we don't want it to be looking flashy, because then it won't look natural. So the luminosity layer does just that. It brings in dark or light without putting color into it. Okay, well, let's do the exact same area. I just showed you, but I'm gonna show you again. I want you to really get it. Exact same area, all the adjustments of the flow and all that stuff are exactly the same. I'm not touching anything. So watch. I'm painting it in. You see that orange? So that is the reason I use this. It looks natural. There's no orange, nasty colors. Watch, I'll show you real quick what's going on. See, I'm bringing in light from outside, but there's no color cast. It's a beautiful thing. I'm taking away shadows, I'm adding shadows. Now watch, I can make my brush a lot bigger. The reason I'm doing this, I don't want it to have a hard shadow from my flash on the walls, plants, chairs, bedroom, whatever, or a bed, whatever. I want it to look natural. So how does it look natural? Well, you shift the way the light is. The light should be coming from the ceiling where that light is right there, and it should be coming from outside. But we don't want the nasty colors, so we don't include it. The luminosity mode makes it to where we don't have to include those colors. There's very little time that we have to include the colors. I'll see if this photo does it. I like to do these live. I like you to experience it along with me. So it may not happen here. If it doesn't, okay, so see, I think it is happening right here. See that kind of an orange color right there? What that orange color is from. So in times like this where it's a really harsh looking color, it's coming from the luminosity. That's why I duplicate the normal mode first with the layer mask on it. Because in instances like this, when it's a harsh orange, it's coming because I put the flash up here and it flashed and it left kind of a harder shadow. So this nasty orange color is a shadow. So what do I do? Now, tell me you just saw that disappear. That nasty orange looking color disappeared. Watch. See that orange right there? It shifted a little bit. The reason it did that is because I brought back in natural color that was in my first image, the ambient shot. So it evened it out a little bit. See all that nasty orange? Look at that. It muddies up the photo. So get out of that. I want nice, clean looking images. See, it's taking away I'm on luminosity mode. It's taking away, putting back shadows, but not bringing in any nasty color. And it looks a lot better than having all that orange and stuff everywhere. It's just changing the light. See, it just switches it up a little bit. Let me see if this is a problem. See that blue color right there? Watch this. I'm gonna go to the normal mode and bring back in the color of the shells. The blue is from the flash. So what the ambient layer is usually the nasty orange colors, but a lot of times it's the true color of like shelves, brown cabinet, shelves, flooring, whatever. So you have to come in with the color, the normal blending mode of the ambient shot, and bring it back in just a little bit, You don't have to make it perfect, you know. So look at that. Hold on, let's go back. See that right there? That's the ambient, but you have a flash that's 5500 Kelvin, which is outside temperature, which is those outside lights that were coming in that was blue and green and all that stuff. So you do it with the ambient and bring that normal mode in, that layer, and you're solving color issues. It's beautiful. Okay, now we got our flash shot. Grab it and bring it all the way to the top. Hold down and bring it all the way. Command, mask. In this right here, you take that blending mode to darken mode. Put my flow at 80%. Look at there. Beautiful. Easy. And when you get good at this, and then we'll flatten the image, you'll be doing these like that. You'll make your brush big, 10%, doing it wherever you want, because you don't want to take away all of the flash, because the flash is popping off and creating true colors of what the room actually looks like. That's the reason for the flash. But you also want the shadows to be natural of where the ambient light is coming in. Command save, brings it back over here in Photoshop, brings it back over here in the Lightroom, and then I do my after. I have one for exterior, for drone stuff, twilight pool, all these other edits. If you would also like to see how I do twilights, of how I pop my flash off, leave a comment below, let me know, and I will do a specific full tutorial on shooting twilight. So I push this, it kind of evens out the photo again. I don't know why, but I always have to go down here to the transform and update. Now watch, it'll shift right. It usually does. Apparently it's right. Sometimes I gotta tweak it. That's good enough. So that's it. That right there is your complete image. Very quick, very simple. It's okay to have a little bit of orange because that's a part of the photo. Nobody's gonna look at that and be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with this photo? And that's why we do the flash. That's why we do the luminosity. We don't want that nasty color that's coming in from the ambient shot to dominate the image. You don't want somebody to stop on the image because it looks disgusting. You want them to stop because you made a photo look good. And this looks like a professional quality photo that you can deliver, and you will have customers that are completely satisfied with your work. Once again, thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications so you can get notified when I put new videos out. Thank y'all for subscribing. I have got at least 300 new subscribers in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for commenting. You guys are the reason that I do it. I really enjoy it. Thank y'all so much, and I'll see you next time.